This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself.
Today we have an older Frigidaire washing machine that won't spin. So none of the spin cycles work if you try anywhere on the dial and then you pull back. You don't get any spin cycle, nor do you get any type of agitation cycle during the wash portion. So this could mean that the door switch has failed. It can also mean that the motor speed control has failed. So this video will go over how to test the motor speed control. By the way, if your machine doesn't drain all the way, it won't go to spin. So in this case, this one was draining really well. But if yours doesn't drain, you may just have a clogged drain. So I have the bottom panel removed, I have it unplugged, and I'm going to get to the speed control to change it. I'm going to reach back in here with a Phillips head screwdriver and remove two Phillips head screws that are holding the speed control, which is located in the back right corner. And pretty easy to get to. You just have to get your tool in there. You can also take off the back panel to get to it, but if your machine is installed in a cabinet, this may be a better way coming at it from the front. So I'm going to get out the two Phillips head screws, and then I can take the speed control and bring it out toward the front. I did have to clip a couple of zip ties that were holding the wire harness. If you don't clip the zip ties, you won't be able to pull it out toward the front, but they're easy to just clip with some diagonal pliers. So I'm pulling that out toward the front and going to wiggle it through underneath the tub. And here's what it looks like. This is the motor control or motor speed control or MCU. Here's a new one, new circuit board. It just lives inside of the plastic cover. So I'll pull off these two electrical connectors. One you just pinch in on the sides and pull it off. And the other one you just take it, grab it, and pull it, kind of wiggle it off. Wiggle that one off. So now I'm going to pry back the plastic cover and lift the circuit board up toward me. Comes out. Here comes the new circuit board. I'm going to put it in the same way. So I'll fit it into the little slots down there, and I'll push the top of it in until it clicks. We'll put a link in the description below for ordering this speed control. We put on the new connector, the two electrical connectors, and now I can actually just leave it here to do a test to make sure this is going to solve the problem. So we're going to let it fill, and then it should start to agitate maybe about a minute into the cycle. You should see the spin basket going back and forth. In this case, it's not responding to the new circuit board. So there's a couple other options, but the most likely one is the door switch has failed. I noticed that during the operation there's a loud buzzing coming from the door switch, so it would be recommended to replace it. Some of these have a more modern Frigidaire door switch, which are only about 25 bucks from Amazon, and they're really easy to pop in. And some of these use an older style door switch, which has a retrofit kit that you can get. We'll put a link in the description for that below. But it's pretty expensive, about $200. And it may be better at this point to get another washing machine because these gallery ones are pretty old. This is how you could take out the door switch, though, if you have the modern one. You just take a paint scraper and you kind of pull back on the boot and you wiggle the paint scraper in to break the contact cement that's holding it in. A lot of models, they have a spring clip that holds this in, and some they glue them in. So these have a little bit of glue, and it's not that hard to break the glue free. So once you get the glue free, you want to remove the two Phillips head screws that are holding the door lock into position. You just have to remove some of the glue. I'm going to put my hand behind it, make sure again it's unplugged, and zip out those 2 screws. And now there's some electrical connectors on the right side of this that I have to reach in and undo. This ended up being one of the older style ones, which are pretty expensive and a little harder to replace, but I'll just show you guys. So the upper side of this on the right, I got 2 spade connectors I have to reach in and pull them off one by one. So I'm going to grab them and wiggle them, pull them out toward my right so they come loose. Then in the middle, there's a wax motor that has a modular connector that I have to pinch and pull off. And at the bottom of the door switch are 2 more spade connectors that I have to pull off one by one. They're usually on there pretty tight. Let's get the top ones off. If you have a modern one, it's pretty cool. After you get these off, you just plug in the new one, you put it back into position, add the Phillips head screws, and then put the door boot back on and you're done. And again, they're only about $25 from Amazon. But the new retrofit kit is really expensive. It comes with a wiring harness and just allows you to use the modern type of door lock with the old setup. Probably wouldn't make financial sense though to use it. So I'm going to use the needle nose pliers to grab those spade connectors to help wiggle those off of the bottom. There's one. I'll grab the other one, wiggle it off. And now I can pull out the old door switch. This is the old style. So it has this thing down here, which is a solenoid. When activated with 110 volts, it pulls back with a magnetic field, and it then locks the door. The middle part of the switch has something called a wax motor, and that has 110 volts coming in that heats up some wax. As the wax expands, it pushes down a piston to help hold the armature in place to keep it locked. And when all that happens, there's a red micro switch that lives on the top that closes and tells the computer or the timer that the door is locked, and that allows it to go to agitation and to spin. So this is the little switch I'm testing. I have it for continuity, and I hear it beep, so I know that the switch is good. So probably what's happening is the solenoid down here, when it gets activated, it doesn't have enough power to pull back far enough anymore to really get the whole thing going. So it's not telling the timer that the door is shut, and because of that, it won't let power go to the motor to do agitation and to do spin. So the way to cure it would be to either get a new switch assembly with the retrofit kit, or maybe try to find a new solenoid, the black thing that we saw on the back of it. I think the middle part, the wax motor, is working, because when you turn it on to spin, the door does lock, and when you turn it off, you can't open the door for a little while until the wax cools. So I got a feeling that that is working. The other thing that could be happening is that the timer lives in the upper right-hand section, could be dirty on the spin contacts, and those spin contacts might just need to be cleaned, or it may need a new timer. In my experience, though, the two most likely suspects when you have a no spin, as long as there's no water still caught in there, would be a bad motor control unit that we looked at earlier in the video, or a bad door lock. And they're pretty easy to replace. So if you have a new door lock, the way you put it in is you hook up the wires in the back, and then you just add those 2 Phillips head screws. So putting the door boot back over its ridge, and if you were going to put this all back together, it'd be good to add a little glue to that too. Thanks so much for watching our video. We really appreciate your support, and when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.